What's poppin', everybody?
Welcome back to the Cole Podcast.
I'm Zoe.
And I'm Steve.
And today we are going to be talking about dating apps and our own personal experiences with them. Hopefully you have a fun time listening to our little stories, and we can do a little bit of hijinks in there and have a little fun time.
Yeah, look, I love the mixing
days.
the idea of dating apps and the hijinks.
Yeah.
A little bit of rigmarole.
Yeah, I'm sure we've all had quite the wacky adventures, right? Yeah.
So this episode is just going to be like a little bit of a rundown on like our experience with dating apps, what we think about dating apps currently, maybe like a little bit about the dating culture in the U.S. right now and maybe abroad too. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
So
maybe a couple of broads. Who knows?
So, I'll start off by saying, like, I recently downloaded OkCupid, and I've fallen in love with a girl from the Philippines.
Oh.
Yeah, it's been amazing so far. I mean, I never would have seen this coming. I've always been attracted to Asian women my entire life.
Yeah.
And I think that this is pretty much the path that I'm going down. I'm going to be a passport bro, folks.
Oh, man. It's funny you saying that. It literally sounds like you're being sarcastic, but this actually is happening.
That's the part. I was trying to make it not clear whether or not it was true or not, but no, that's actually what has happened.
Yeah.
And it's surprising because, like, for me, I've had experiences on dating apps in the past, right? I used them when I was like in my early 20s. I used them when I was traveling like overseas in Thailand and stuff like that. Surprisingly, in Thailand, you find a lot of lady boys on Tinder.
Really? Yeah. I mean, is that really surprising? I feel like some of the like weirdest, outlandish people are using dating apps like the most right now. And that's not like I'm not like knocking you. I'm just saying like if you've ever
Fuck you. Yeah, like some of the worst and most disgusting human beings on earth actually do the exact same thing that you do, but you're not one of them.
Yeah, you're different.
You're not one of them.
No, but no, it's just funny because like if you flip through like a dating app for long enough, you're gonna like see some people you just wonder to yourself like I can't believe they advertise themselves like this.
Yeah.
Wow. And it's always crazy. And it's it's like from weirdos to people that you can't like have a very like I can't tell what that actually is appearance.
Yeah.
Like,
are you even human?
Yeah.
I remember I had someone I didn't match with them. Obviously, I didn't like this person, but they looked like Mr. Poopy Butthole when I was scrolling.
Where's
through.
it from again?
Rick and Morty.
Mr.
Poopy Butthole.
They're like really tiny.
Mr.
Had like
PD.
a like a enlonged like oblong. I think
Yeah, the
is
head
word.
was like
yeah.
weirdly shaped. Had like a little stalk of hair coming out the top. And had some level of mental disability, like to the point where it's probably illegal for whoever who put that person on the dating app, because it couldn't have been them, but it's probably illegal for them to be on there. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah, because it's like their appearance itself is offensive.
Yeah, and like I don't necessarily want to make fun of the girl, but the whole concept is just funny to me. So I remember making fun of her. It's just a funny thing in general.
Yeah, I remember seeing a girl that looked like the Grinch, like actually the Grinch. It was crazy.
Yeah, you get crypt keepers, you get Grinches. Sometimes a Bigfoot will come through on your feed.
Yeah, sometimes just be a whole guy, just like
like a dude. Yeah, I think they call
big backs.
I think they call those Baba Yagas.
Yeah, a couple of chupacabras, a Baba Yaga, a Yeti. It's all types.
Yeah, no, I think dating apps are definitely like full of freaks.
Whoa.
But there's also a lot of different people on there's also a lot of different people on dating apps that are sort of, good looking.
Yeah, no,
like me, for example.
Looking for some.
Yeah, Steve, like you.
Yeah, just like me. So
Yeah,
like, if any of you guys are on a dating app, you won't be finding me anymore. But look out for someone like this.
That's already taken.
Steve's a spoken for man at this point.
Yeah, so I've been actually talking to this girl. I used OkCupid, and I want to talk about OkCupid because it's like an interesting app. Leezy hates it, but OkCupid is interesting because it gives you the option to set deal breakers, right? It also gives you the option to select like 25 different sexualities and genders.
Wow.
Yeah, there's a lot of different options when it comes to that nowadays, and I found that to be pretty interesting. Like, I don't know, I didn't know I could be what was it,
Anamorph.
Robosexual.
Okay.
Robosexual, which has nothing to do with robots apparently, but yeah,
Okay.
Robosexual is one option. And then like you can actually, but the main thing with OkCupid that I actually liked is that you can like set deal breakers, right? So if there's like a thing you hate about certain people or a thing you require in your future mate, like them being a certain race or being a certain weight, or them being like not a smoker or a drinker or something like that, you can set it as a deal breaker. That's something that I liked. And then also religion, obviously. Everyone that's actually pays attention to this podcast knows I'm a Christian, so I put out all of those other well, should I even call them religions?
Jesus.
No, I'm just kidding. I'm just joking. But no, I
Everyone
turned
else
off.
is wrong except me.
Yeah, yeah. I actually made a face. Oh, I'm not gonna talk about that.
Yeah, go any further into that rap.
Yeah.
Oh,
No, but yeah, definitely setting deal breakers was pretty cool. But
Yeah.
I did end up finding someone that I liked.
nice.
On the first try, right? Let's bring that point up.
No,
Luckily,
it wasn't really the
try?
first try. No, I matched with maybe probably like 15 people, to be honest.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, there was some Vietnamese
Big
people
baller
in there,
here.
some Filipinos, some blacks.
Were they all international or?
No.
Okay.
No, some of them were like, well, so here's the difference between me and probably you guys, right?
No. Okay.
Yeah.
Yeah, educate
So
us.
one, my dick bigger, just generally
Gotcha.
bigger,
Okay.
right? And then
Okay.
two,
Yeah.
whenever I go on a dating app, right, I'm not going through like, oh, she looks good.
No.
Let me swipe right. Oh no, I don't like this one. Swipe left. Right? I'm not fucking
He's
gay.
like,
All right. So my goal is literally to go through the app and spend maybe 5 minutes. Use all of my likes as fast as possible.
Oh, you're
He's
just
a
power swiper.
I
He's a
power
power
swipe.
swiper.
Yeah.
Okay, yeah.
And then you look through the results. Who did you match with? And then you talk to one of them. Right? If you have a bunch of options, then you can pick. And I wouldn't doubt that women probably don't have to do that, do they? Because
No, I think-
assume that they're like.
I feel like any highly attractive girl is probably already aware that like every person she swipes right on is going to be a match.
Right.
So she's probably just mostly like they're probably extremely selective. Where it's like they
Yeah.
swipe left,
That makes
and
sense.
every 1,000th person they might swipe right.
Right.
Yeah.
Well, I'm not conceited enough to think that a woman is going to like. I mean, I don't need to think that. Oh, if I for me, it's like if I swipe left on any of those women, it's like, what if I change my mind later, right? And I'm probably not going to have enough matches to really offset that. If I am being picky and choosy and stuff like that, I don't know. You guys probably have a different experience if you like selective. How do dating apps kind of work for you?
Yeah. So the only dating app I've ever used is actually Tinder, which isn't like the best one I think at all. But I only started using it after it was like the end of college because I didn't catch the train early enough with that one. So I came in, and it was actually after I broke up with someone. So it was like I was down bad, and I was just like, man, I gotta do something about this. So I got a Tinder, and at the beginning, I took it very seriously because I was really trying to get a come up out of it. Really, that's really what it was all
Emphasis on
for.
cum.
Yeah, and it worked a few times. I'd say probably twice from it. I actually got hookups, and then I went on a few dates that didn't go anywhere. And I remember one of them. It was this one girl. She identified as pansexual, and I didn't know what that was at the time. But I was just like, you know what? She looks like a woman. That's good enough.
That is not good enough. You're putting yourself in dangerous territory.
Yeah, no, she was though. She turned out to be a girl. I had a strong feeling she was a girl, but that pan was throwing me off. I was like, please let this actually be a chick. When I was like, let's meet up for coffee. We met up for coffee. Found out she was a church girl, and I guess being pansexual was just, she just swings every way possible.
Okay.
Yeah.
Well, that sounds pretty contradictory.
What do you mean?
How's she a church girl and she's pansexual?
Well, here's the thing. I don't think she was a church girl. I just knew she was she was the daughter of a pastor or something.
Oh, okay. That's like the story as old as time.
Yeah. So, yeah, literally. Yeah. So she was the corrupted church girl, and she was also a hardcore feminist, and that was turning me off because we spent the day first getting coffee. We went to a comic shop, and she was showing me this she was showing me this feminist literally it was a feminist superhero with this brawny strong ass chick basically holding another girl, and she's like, oh, I totally want to read this. And I'm just looking at it. I'm just ugh. Yeah, she was it was just and then we went and saw Girls Trip. And
that is what I fear.
Yeah.
It sounds awful. It sounds like a horrible day.
Yeah, it was I was trying to make the best of it, but I could tell her she was forcing herself to laugh at all the jokes in the movie because you want to really prove that women are funny too. She was kind of acting as though I was she's proving a point to me. See?
I don't know where this came from, but I feel like I have to say it.
Okay.
All right. Do you feel like one day if you had started dating her and maybe having sex here and there, right? When she's in between you and her butch lesbian girlfriend on the side that she has.
yeah, her Ellen DeGeneres.
Do you think she would basically I don't know, this doesn't make any sense, but I'm gonna say it do you think she would eventually make you start shaving your pubes, and when you tell her you're not willing to, she'd be like, "What are you, a sexist? Like you make me shave, but you're not gonna shave your pubes too?"
That'd be
I
crazy.
feel like that's a little bias. Do you think you would?
Yeah, man, no.
Does she seem like she would have ended up in that? I just need to know.
I would have if that situation occurred, I would completely overthink it because I'm trying to read why is this a problem now would be my question. Like, why all of a sudden. And I'm like, it's something with that Butch chick that she's dealing with. That's I would be mad at that Butch that she's seeing, because I know she's putting some fucking worm in her ear. That's probably going to come back to me and be like, "Oh, I got a point to prove to my man."
I mean, why can't it just be the patriarchy, right? Your pubes represent the patriarchy.
No, fuck that. You know what? No, that fucking, how dare she? I would be completely, I would blow that out of proportion. I would get irrationally mad at her. And just being you always fucking do this shit. And, I mean, yeah, that's probably how I would react. But I would have to break it off because I'm like, okay, that Butch chick is getting too close to our thing because now she's asking you. You're basically vicariously, asking questions through her. Yeah. And then I'm gonna have to fight this chick. And when I beat the shit out of her, I'm gonna get arrested.
Right.
Yeah.
But back to dating apps. So, Lizzie, how do you feel about dating apps, man? Do you like them? Is it a good expenditure of time to use them, etc.?
Well, dating apps are I've been doing it for 2 weeks, right? And it's a bit of a weird process going through. Obviously, I'm selective. I'm a bit picky, just a little bit, because
I've been trying to tell Lizzie to power swipe forever.
Yeah.
Right, but then you got Zoe's situation where he's dating the pansexual. It is okay. If you're not picky enough, then you'll obviously have to deal with a bunch of different stuff you might not want to deal with. So, I mean, hey, I'm going through the process. Some of the matches are decent enough for me, honestly, but I don't really have much else to do with it. I put my profile out there. I'm either waiting for. I'm technically being the woman, right? I got my profile
as usual. Right?
Yeah,
I got my profile out there, and if the women come,
the bottom.
Yeah,
if the women are coming, and if they're matching me, then they're matching me. Because here's the thing: women have an absurd amount of not preference, but advantage when it comes to the dating apps and the dating game.
Yeah.
So if they're not going to match with me, then it's shit. If they're not gonna like my thing and I like them afterwards, to me it's not really worth it.
Yeah,
But that's what I'm just waiting on at the moment.
Yeah,
that was the sauciest fucking dating app explanation ever.
It is, but it's dating app is online. It's it's not real.
Bro,
life.
it's virtual.
Lizzie's a pick me.
Oh yeah,
it's not pick me.
Lizzie's a pick me.
Of all the ladies out there, this man's single, by the way.
It's reverse. It's I'm choosing a more of a tactical approach, right?
Makes sense.
If the woman likes you,
through the back door.
Think of it if the woman likes you, then they probably like you. But if you're power swiping like Steve is, I mean, do you even like those women? No, you don't.
Yeah. well, no, but I
don't like them.
Bro, it's like saying if you went to a grocery store and
Even
you're
if you match with them.
I don't want the peas. I don't want the broccoli.
You choose what you want to get.
Or you could say, you know what? I'm gonna you're basically saying you go into the grocery store with an intent. And you're looking for something, and you put it in the cart. Or you can go to the grocery store and be I'm gonna walk down this aisle and look at everything that's an option right now.
Yeah.
Right. If you're in the app, not power swiping, then it's you're just spending so much more time.
But that's the thing.
And you're gonna get less of the options put in front of you.
Right, but if they weren't going through the app and not matching, but if you're liking as many as you can, right? Just blow through the app. Just as many girls as possible. I'm doing that. It's not I'm not doing that.
Right, but that sounds like it's now it's getting to the point where it'd be frustrating because
I have 500 less likes on women than you do. But still, I have some options out there, and if they like me back, then great, and we got something we can roll with.
I'm curious. I want to know. Do you guys have any active? I know we heard Steve's strategy about how he gets his matches. Did you ever have to look up or just do you instinctively have strategies you try to use in order to optimize how many matches you get on dating apps? Or you just kind of go in here's a nice picture of me. One nice picture of me. I'm going to put that there, and I'm just going to see what happens? Or do you strategize?
My goal on dating apps wasn't necessarily to get a lot of matches. It was just to find someone. I tailored my profile really well. Mm-hmm. I put a lot of work into the profile itself and into the description mostly, like the writing. Like, I mean, I have a background with the writing, so I try to make it like an ad for myself almost.
Yeah.
And doing that, you know, it attracted people, and then also it was on OkCupid. So like I said, it had those deal breakers. So it like sorts out certain people that I wouldn't be interested in for the most part. Like hookups and a lot of garbage that I don't want in life right now. At least I used to want that type of stuff, and I used to do it on dating apps. But back then, when I was like, for example, the first time I ever hooked up with someone off of Tinder, I made a fuckboy profile, and I got a bitch with a wig, you know, 'cause, like I wasn't hot enough to be a fuckboy. I was fit and in decent shape, and you know, obviously I have a good personality, and
obviously,
you know, yeah, of course, right. And then I wrote out a good profile, but it wasn't like I was in the top 10% of people on Tinder.
Yeah,
and it's like if you're in the top 10%, then you're probably getting multiple matches of really hot girls. But like I was getting like, you know, the refugee matches, like the matches
not
that
the leftover
matches, the matches that couldn't make it over the wall. So, you know, eventually I'm like, you know what, I'm just gonna bite, right? And I picked the one that had 3 cats and a house that smelled like shit and a wig. So that's my experience, I guess, with Tinder. So
I always wondered if it varies based, because I heard like, you know, Tinder's kind of the one that's at least nowadays
the hookup app.
Yeah, like the pseudo hookup app, but a lot of it seems like it's bots now, and then also you're probably not gonna be able to, like, I don't know if there's too many people on there genuinely looking to date. I don't know if Hinge or OkCupid or Christian Mingle are a little different. I do know that when I was like in college, back to college, there were like 2 experiences where I was like trolling, because like one, me and my friends in like freshman year, I remember like we knew one of the girls on our floor had a Christian Mingle. So like we made a fake profile and tried to see if we could match with her.
No.
And so we like I remember we built it where it's like our profile was like a cow. And I forget what we named it, but we just put a bunch of ridiculous shit on there to see if we'd actually get a match. And I guess we matched with someone that I guess I think she was like looking to figure out what the hell was going on, because we were just like, hey baby, can we buy you some milk, and you know, just dumb shit.
Just making this bitch feel bad.
And then there was another time, this was like senior year, with my roommate Paul. You know, shout out to Paul if you still watch. He had a friend that she had been like making money mysteriously, and then we found out from her that she had made a Phoebe account, which, if you guys aren't familiar, that's an account, a dating app for like fat chasers.
Oh my god.
Yeah, like chubby chasers. So like she was pretending to be like a fat woman online. She wasn't really that fat. But she was pretending to be
like catfishing, like reverse catfishing.
Yeah, she was reverse catfishing guys, because she would like send videos of her like eating food and stuff and saying what she was gonna, like, you know, rub on her stomach the next day to like these guys, and they'd send her money being like, I want to see you eat this, and send me a picture of your feet.
I can't imagine,
you know, covered in syrup.
Pathetic, like just a man that's just pathetic as fuck.
Yeah, and so like I remember she was like, yeah, I've been making so much money from it. So like we're like, I wonder, we're like, do you have to like send video? Because like if they see you, they're gonna know you're not fat. And she's like, most of the guys that have been sending her money like haven't requested any videos or anything yet. Just like she just has to talk to them. So we're like, we're like, oh, you know, what if we made a profile and just like pretended to be a fat chick online? Let's see what can happen. And then like we made a profile, and like we had like we had like this fake image of like this like woman who literally looks like she's melting on her bed, just sitting there. And then like we immediately got like messages from like 8 Indians in like 8 minutes. It was crazy.
Wow.
So yeah, dating apps could be pretty crazy. But I haven't really taken a lot of the dating apps like seriously. Honestly, in a few years. Sometimes I'll swipe Tinder, but even when I get matches, I don't really like hop onto it, because I haven't really been invested in trying to like actually go anywhere with that recently.
Yeah. I think that there's a time for everything, and like when you're in the season of hooking up, if you don't have a lifestyle that permits hooking up, like if you don't like go to the club and drink and stuff like that, then I think that hooking up on dating apps seems like the thing to do. But if you're like looking for long-term partner, dating apps have their place, but I think if you go into the dating app world without having like real world experience on like actual dating, I do think that dating apps can be misleading because it's almost like a dopamine rush, like especially if you power swipe like me. Like if you have like 15 matches, then you feel like you have some level of power where it's like, oh, I can just choose, who I want to, interact with, and like, you ghost people, and stuff like that. And I'm sure that's like the typical female experience if they're like average looking at the very least, where they can just choose whether or not to engage with somebody. And if I know, like when I was on dating apps, I would send like maybe 1 or 2 messages to some girls and they just unmatch you immediately. All you said was like, hello, how you doing today? Or, you say something simple as hell. Yeah. And then you get unmatched.
Bored.
Yeah. Bye. Just throw you in the trash. And that shit feels pretty bad when you're younger, especially like when you don't have like confidence and stuff and you're like, oh, someone matched with me. And then you send them a message and they unmatch you immediately. That feels terrible.
No, it does. It's a shot to your ego, your spirit, especially when you're young. And I think you take a lot more things personally. You get older and you realize most people are stupid, or, you just realize that like, it's most people's opinion of you isn't really worth that deep of thought. A lot of times it can be something else, or or it's some personal to them. But like you just become more. The older you get, I think the more secure you come with yourself. The more you just realize like, hey, rejection's a part of life. You just move on. Eventually, you're gonna find your thing. You just gotta be persistent.
Yeah.
And I was gonna ask. So let's say this, Steve. You're gonna be my guru. All right. I am a 21-year-old guy. Okay, I'm about a 4 on the scale of attractiveness. I'm not that attractive. I'm working on my things, but I got a little pudge to me, and I don't put too much effort into how I dress. So I'm just like, okay, but I want to get out there. I'm working on myself. I don't got a lot of money. I work at Sears, and I'm like, hey, I got a dating app. What can I do to start getting matches and getting dates?
Depends. So you don't have much money?
No, I don't have much money. I have 9 to 5. I make about $17 an hour.
So I would get on the dating app. I would press the passport button. I would set my range to as
1,000
far
miles
as possible, the whole planet if you can. All right, and I would power swipe. Right, you're gonna get a lot of people who see you and they want to take advantage of you because you're like American or whatever. And like a lot of
immediately, I'm not working with anyone in my country. I'm out of there.
No, they might pop in there. Okay, they might pop in here and there. But I think if you're a 4 as a guy on a dating app, you're probably gonna struggle to match with anyone in your area that's also not a 4. But anyway, let me finish. So the point is, you do that, you power swipe, and then you like have like basic conversations with as many of the people as you can, and then you sort of practice like having that type of conversation. And then once you practice for a while, because I feel like this guy probably has low confidence, he can get like a inflated ego from talking to strangers on the internet, I guess. And then he can pick if he is actually interested in one, sure, do that, or just say like, oh, sorry, I'm not interested to all of them at some point, and then try to match with someone locally, I guess, if you wanted to. Or maybe you'll be interested in someone foreign, and then it'll give you the confidence you need to work on yourself. Who knows?
I don't take a lot of pictures. What do I do about that?
Go in your bathroom with your phone and take a selfie in your mirror.
Okay.
take a mirror selfie.
Just one mirror selfie, and then just go out there.
Yeah, one mirror selfie. If you're Indian, that's a plus, because then you can like do a little selfie video of you doing like this. Probably like in the mirror, you're just like doing that.
Okay.
And then if like Hinge lets you use video, so it'd probably work.
Yeah, all right, fair enough.
Yeah.
Lizzie, what do you recommend? Same scenario. Yeah. What's your strategy? How do you help me out?
You said you're 21 and a 4.
Yeah, I'm 21 and about a 4.
4 because of weight, or are you just fugly?
Let's see.
How tall are you?
Oh, I'm assuming if 5's average, I'm like a little below average. Let's say like my hairline's like receding early, and like there's nothing like unique about me. If you saw me in a crowd, I go to the background. Like I got no standout features. I don't work out enough to be considered strong. I don't eat enough to be fat. I'm just, a regular guy with like an early onset.
This guy's not even fat and he's a 4. Like I consider myself like roughly 5 or 6.
Okay.
But I think 4 means you have to be like genetically ugly.
4 is yeah. Well, that's why I said the hairline thing. Like let's say he's like the thing about him is that he has no standout appearance, like standout features, but his hairline's receding early. early. So like he's failing. He's less than most guys now because he's just balding early.
Oh yeah, that's
Yeah, so I was like, yeah, he's just like, there's nothing admirable. Like you wouldn't notice him if you were on an elevator with him for 5 minutes, but like, yeah, he's also like, you know, people like overage him. They're like, oh, you know, like I'm sure you remember the Beatles. It's like, no, he's that guy.
Yeah, I mean, hey, the looks aren't everything when it comes to dating. It's not everything.
No.
Or yeah, dating apps. It's not everything. I mean, if you're trying to advertise yourself as somebody that's, you know, likes gaming or, you know, whatever your interests are, you try to meet somebody that is the same thing. You meet somebody who is into said hobbies. And you're probably going to have to connect on those hobbies and try to appeal to them in that way.
But
you're not going to do it on looks.
Okay.
So advertise yourself to be
But
different.
I think there's so slim of a
out
chance for someone that's like ugly as hell.
Right, but that's all you
match with
have.
anyone. Like you could
It's just
probably
all you
match with just like whales.
That's
and,
crazy.
Like
Yeah.
crazy looking.
But
people.
you gotta try. But
Bunch
you
of big
also
girls
have
that are
to-
willing to give the guys with personality with a chance.
That's
you
like
gotta be
saying
different.
go to the slot machines and just try.
Just be different.
Yeah.
I mean,
Just give it a shot.
I mean, most of the guys on there, what are they advertising themselves? What do you think?
They're advertising themselves as like they do this. And they bite their lip
Right, like the fuckboy shit, right?
and they close their eyes and take a picture.
There's probably a lot of fuckboys on there.
Let's close your eyes.
Yeah.
What's funny is actually I'm not gonna say it.
All this censorship
I'm not gonna say that.
going
I already
on.
know what Lizzie was gonna say. It's fine. You
Okay.
probably shouldn't say that. Actually,
I'm not gonna say it, but
actually, this
Yeah.
episode's been going pretty long. Actually, I think we should close it out honestly because
Okay.
it's as good a conversation, but maybe we'll do a continuation
But
later.
Yeah. Can I give my strategy?
absolutely.
Yeah. Sure. All right. I would say this. If I'm talking to that guy, I think what's important is that, and this is something I actually looked up. If you want to actually optimize your chances on a dating app, for whatever reason, you want to advertise yourself in a good light, because I know, like, at least in terms of like one for photos, you know, if you're trying to appeal to girls and maybe you're not the best looking guy, what you probably want to do then is focus on trying to be interesting. I think Steve was kind of alluding to that, where it's like you want to advertise that, but you don't want to just advertise that with your bio, because if you look like shit, no one's going to read it. You want to, it's like if you're writing a book or if you're writing something, you want an attention getter. And I know, like, at least 3 things I think will get someone's attention to at least give you a chance is you want to advertise, make your photos kind of advertise your lifestyle. So like at least the people seeing, you know, your profile can have like a vision or basically have an example of like what life would be like if they were in your life. And I think you should structure your photos like that. So I remember looking up something that said like you want a photo that shows like places you've been, like something that's like, you know, where do you go, where do you travel to? Like you want something that kind of is travel-esque. You want a photo that shows you being active, so it gives an idea about what kind of lifestyle you have. A photo that reflects maybe a hobby. And then the other like 2 could be something where it's like maybe you professionally like dressed or something, show that you have like ability to like, you know, like be in a professional environment. And then one where you just feel like you look good. So like, you know, dress well in a photo and then take a picture of that, show them that like, oh, okay, I care about my appearance. I think if you kind of hit those 5 peaks or those 5 like measurements, then oftentimes you can like get more likes or get more people to be interested in your bio and stuff like that for dating. And so that's ways to kind of offset it if you're just not handsome and you're like, you know, if you're not handsome and you're what you call it, your jail photo isn't gonna like get a bunch of girls to simp over you.
Yeah, that's true. I agree. I mean, I agree with that. You obviously got to optimize your profile and make sure that you're, you know, intentionally putting yourself out there. Otherwise, it's probably just not going to work because there's no reason for it to work.
Yeah.
Like if you're not trying at all, then there's no reason for it to actually work.
Yeah.
And I like when you said, you know, if you're ugly, no one's going to read your bio.
No one cares. Like,
Yeah. But anyway, let's close this out. So, thanks guys for watching. This episode's been about dating apps. If you guys are interested in learning more about the Cold Popcast and seeing some of our clips on social media, check us out at The Cold Popcast on Instagram, Facebook, Twitter, TikTok, all those places. All audio, video platforms. We're also available with the podcast. I've been falling off super hard on posting the audio. I'm not going to lie. But, yeah, I'm probably like 40 episodes behind on that.
Jesus.
But, you know, it'll be there eventually. So Thanks for watching, guys. Thanks for popping in. We got to pop out of here.
All right. Peace.